Hello and welcome. What's up? How you doing? What's going on, folks? How's everybody doing out there? Heather, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Oh, no problem. You had a great weekend though, didn't you?
I did have a great weekend.
A lot of people, some people know this, some people don't. Some people know this, some people don't. So I wanted to embarrass Heather live, so I'm going to do it. It's not going to embarrass you at all, is it? No, it's so awesome. She had a surprise happen this weekend, and it was so awesome. Go ahead, tell everybody real quick. I'm making you do it.
I got married again.
Again, that's right. Yay, that's so cool.
After 23 years to say, but he surprised the heck out of me, and you guys were in on it. So that
I know. A lot of those people that are out there knew about it and were in on it, and we actually got to join too. So that was kind of cool too. That was awesome. It was what a great experience. Of course, I was the first one to say,
right? What a great use of technology.
Yeah, it was amazing. We couldn't come out there. We couldn't be there, couldn't travel, all that kind of stuff, but we could be there. So that was really, really pretty awesome.
To the same guy. Yes, it's to the same guy.
I know. That's the first thing I said, Eileen. The first thing I said when I got in the hangout, I said, oh, what if she says no? No, it's pretty awesome.
I know, Richard. I know. Great.
I know.
I have your number. What a jerk, huh?
I know. There you go. And it was all the people that you met in person, though, right? I mean, that's what was kind of cool, is all the people that you got to meet in person.
Well, and that was what was important to him, because he met those folks in person, and he wanted to make sure that they were there, and he knew how valuable you were to me. So that was pretty awesome.
Exactly. Okay, now I got that out of the way. I guess we should go ahead and get to our Go ahead.
I will say, if you want to see my reaction to seeing everybody in the Zoom, I do have it on my Instagram. Go to Craft Shack It on Instagram and you can see it. So now let's get to the tech show.
Yeah, we might as well, right? We have a guest. I think he might, if just looking at it, looks like he may have fallen asleep, but and that's cool. But we'll wake him up. We'll wake him up here. No, this is awesome. I love having this guy on. I've watched this guy's videos for a long time before I actually found out that he was a product expert just like me and tech and stuff, and it's so cool. Can't wait to actually meet him in person, and that very well could happen. Without further ado, Tech with Brett is here, and your first name's Tech and your last name is with Brett. Is that right?
That's exactly right. Sorry, I didn't see you there.
Told you. I knew it. I knew it. No.
Yeah, but I'm here. Yes, my name is Brett, but
that's
with
awesome.
Tech.
Earlier today, when I was promoting this on my show, I said tinkering with Brett.
I love it.
Apparently, I've changed your entire show name, just so you know.
All right. Okay. Let me make that official.
Okay.
But I will say, you won't find him that way out there.
No, you got to look up Tech with Brett.
That's right.
Maybe I should make a video called that.
There you go.
And then you could find me.
There you go. This is Tech with Brett on YouTube right here. This is his channel, and we're going to talk about 3 or 4 of these things that just happened this past week or two. That your videos that are out there, great stuff, very thorough, very well informative. I like the way you explain, and it's very clear. All that kind of stuff. There's tons of stuff on here, folks. Tons. And you, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, and just correct me if I'm wrong, because I have a bunch of people on here, but you worked with or for in association with Samsung?
I did. I worked for Samsung for a while, and now I've left and I'm doing my own thing.
Right. Awesome. So you know a lot about Samsung. So I know there's people out there that watch our show that use Samsung devices, so they could get I'm telling you, you can watch some videos over there that he'll help you out with. I promise. It's really quite cool. Android, Samsung, etc. It's so cool, but really good stuff. I'm going to let you take over and you tell everybody a little bit about who you are and where you're from, because I always put this up there. I always do this. Everybody that's out there, tell us where you're from while he's telling us where he is from. You can say country, city, state, anything you want. Go ahead, Brett.
That would be great to know where everyone's from. So I am from the United States. I live in Utah, and I've lived here my whole life. I've lived outside. I went to New Zealand for 2 years. That was really cool.
Oh, but cool.
I grew up loving tech. My dad actually was a computer teacher. He taught 1st through 3rd graders how to type. And so I remember him bringing home the first computer into our house, and I just was so excited about it. So it kind of all the tech stuff started there. And since then, my brothers built computers and did all kinds of different things with computers. So I saw them, and I started to learn about computers in my own way. And now, after I worked with Samsung, I went to mobile phones. You know, all the computers went into super small devices, played with those, learned everything I could, and then here I am teaching everything that I've learned from you.
That's so awesome. That is so cool. I did not know that about you. Said New Zealand. Is that what you said? Where you're?
Yeah, I went to New Zealand for 2 years.
Was that like now? Okay, I have to ask. What was that, a work thing, or was that just something just on a whim, or is that?
So that was a mission. So I went and taught about Jesus there for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
that is so
I was
cool.
only 19 when I went there, so it was quite the adventure. I didn't know it really was there. I saw Lord of the Rings, and I was like, I think New Zealand is this. And then I went there, and it was just as beautiful as the movies. So
that's awesome. That is so cool. Well, seriously, I want to talk about. We're going to talk about a couple things, but I'd like to talk about. I know, and Heather, we'll get to yours in just a second with the Nest Aware, because I want to talk about that. But one thing that you did was pretty cool. And I think it was only like maybe 4 or 5 days ago, you talked about the sprinkler system that you set up. That was really cool video too. You showed right in your garage how you set it all up. Now I have to ask you this. Every time you get some of this stuff, do you always install it in your house, or are you doing it in other people's houses too? Or whatever?
I've done a few in my parents' house. I've done one outside in a friend's home, but pretty much everything is in my house. So I just upgraded my internet today because they said my internet didn't support 50 devices. They're like, I think you need more internet.
Oh my gosh,
so
that's hilarious.
They gave me I had to pay
sorry,
more.
Your internet doesn't support 50 devices. Like, I can't believe that's a letter they write or whatever. That's hilarious. I'm sorry.
And I mean, I do have an excessive amount, but I feel like eventually everyone's going to get to that amount of devices. So be prepared to upgrade.
That's hilarious. That's great.
I'm speechless by that. I am speechless by that.
So did you? So let me ask you this thing. This could be a question. And folks, listen, while you're out there, folks, seriously, just be sure to ask your questions. We're on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, all that. To be sure to ask your questions, and Heather will bring the comments up as needed. And remember, Brett, I don't want to take too much of your time, because we like to have a little bit of time left over for our community members to come in and talk to you afterward. We always do that afterwards.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I just want to remind you and make sure that you remembered that. But anyway, folks. So do you ever find like something just doesn't work? Have you ever had that happen where it just didn't work, or it didn't? I have to ask, you know.
Let me tell you, I have had some tech problems. I do my best to show what the perfect experience will be with a device. Mm-hmm. I don't show the hours behind scenes where I'm like, well, why didn't it work here, or why doesn't it work there? One example is I have a smart switch, like a smart light switch that has 2 or 3 plugs on it. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, when that switch is in a Google Home room, when you try to turn off all of the switches or just one switch, there's a problem. So some of them won't turn off. So you have to separate them out. Or I tried a different app. This is a Tuya Smart Things or Smart Life product. So it just, whatever I tried, it did not work, and kind of frustrating. But yes, that happens a lot. Don't show it. I'm saving it all for all of my ranting in one video. It's just going to lay it all out there. This is the problem with smart homes. But other than that, I love it.
That's cool, though. That's awesome. No, it's good to know, though, because I know, what's this? In my first time in your live, I'm always on your offline. Good. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining. I appreciate that. That's awesome stuff. This is great stuff. Good things. So talk about that a little bit. I want to talk about the new Nest Aware plans, because Heather, you were approached with that with your device, right? Tell me.
Yeah, Heather, they send you this letter saying, they send you this letter saying that you can upgrade to the new Nest Aware. I don't even remember how it was worded, but it was new, and you can upgrade. Those are the things. So it actually, when I clicked yes, it was a downgrade, and I was not happy. The wording was a little off. Did you experience anything like that, Brett?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
It all depends. I knew it was coming, so
Oh,
I
sure.
have, yeah. So I had currently 4 Nest devices. So I have a Nest Cam, a Nest Outdoor Cam, a Google Nest Hub, and a Nest Hello Front Doorbell. So I have 4 Nest devices, and for each of those devices, I was paying for what's called Nest Aware, where it's $3 a month, and it records like 5 days of history
Hmm.
on those devices. And I knew last year Google announced they were coming out with a new Nest Aware plan to simplify, instead of paying for every single new Nest device that you have, because now they have like the Nest Hub and they have all kinds of other Nest products. They turned it into a all-in-one plan. So you pay for Nest Aware on this new subscription, and it could save you or it could cost more money depending on what you had before, which may have been a little alerting to some people. And then if you want even more, you can pay a lot more. And then they said you can also pay for a whole year in advance, which gave you some extra benefits. But I'm happy because I had 4 devices. It fit perfectly where I would save money with the new plans. But if you had like 2, it kind of hurts in some ways. Maybe that's what you're running into, Heather.
Probably so.
Yeah, I think for me it was that it wasn't a 24-hour what do you call that? It was just the alerts. Yeah, so I was just getting alerts all of a sudden and not getting an actual video coverage for the whole time, and that I didn't understand that that's what it was doing. So for about 2 or 3 days, I didn't actually have any video coverage unless somebody moved or something happened. And when I'm using it as a monitoring service for my 96-year-old grandmother, that was a little upsetting. So yeah, it wasn't worded the way that I thought it should have been worded. I wanted to help them.
That's true. And it also, it didn't notify you that you could have just kept what you had.
Yes, exactly.
It was too late. So
it was too late. It was too late.
Kind of frustrating.
Sorry.
Kind of frustrating, I know. So anyway, so talk about that. So what about
just wait an extra month till my videos come out and then learn all about.
That's exactly what I should have done. Now that you say that, that's exactly what I should have done. Something new. Let me check with Brett first.
Oh, look at there.
Ronald Brown. Ron, that's awesome.
That is awesome. Thank you very much for your support. I really do appreciate that. That's awesome. We always break for that. Anybody that wants to provide super chats, we always break for that.
We appreciate the support. That's always a good thing.
We really do. So Canadian $10, that's about what, $3? No, I'm just kidding. I have to have fun with the Canadians. No, I'm just kidding. Ron, I appreciate you, brother. You know that. Anyway, so let's talk about this. So I know I saw one that I was pretty interested in too, because I've been thinking about this, but I just haven't made the jump to it. I think it was the one where is it called _Lockly? Is that right?
Yep, that's a
It's a. Is it a door lock? Yeah. Oh,
yeah. So you can get it, or a door lock. Sorry, you can get it 2 ways. You can get it as a door, like a deadbolt, smart deadbolt, or you can get a smart latch. So if you don't want to add a deadbolt, you can add all that smart functionality to the latch that you currently have. So it gives functionality where you can use your fingerprint, you can type in a PIN code, you can use Bluetooth or your smart devices to lock or unlock your home and get in without needing a key.
That's awesome.
So it's pretty cool. The one time we actually needed it, the battery just barely died. So I'm still trying to figure out how long the battery lasts. And my wife was like, I tried the fingerprint. It didn't work. The PIN codes didn't pop up. So she ended up having to use your key. So it does have a key entry in the event, something like that.
Thank God, because that's me with my little fob on my key fob thing. I'm like, I get up to the door and then I remember, oh yeah, there's a button to push. I'd rather just use the key every time. So
I have to ask you though, did you actually install this one in your house?
Yeah. Yep.
Obviously, because you said
in my home. It's been the biggest pain and not pain for the last 2 months. There's one flaw. So the Lockly Secure Pro, like it's very secure. I think the device itself works really well. But later they came out with what's called the Secure Link. So it's like a Wi-Fi hub to give it smart functionality. And because of how my house is set up, that hub needs to be visible within 10 feet of the
Oh,
smart
wow.
lock. And I don't have a plug visible within
Oh,
10
wow.
feet of my front door. I have one right around the corner, but that's just far enough where it doesn't work. And so that's the main reason I wanted it. And I had it plugged into an extension cord and like hanging right by the door.
Yeah,
So
that's
it didn't
frustrating.
look, my wife was like, are we still doing this? Like, is that going to stay here forever? And I'm like, well, we'll see. And
How
so
about a back
that's the main
door?
flaw.
That's what your wife saying.
Are
How
we
about a
still
back door?
doing this?
Yeah.
Are we
Yeah.
still
So
doing this? I love it.
she's kind of done with half the stuff I do, but that's the only flaw. Everything else really worked great.
So does that, so, and that works for, can you put different codes in for different, here's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of at work, putting that on a back door, having that there for different workers. When they come in, we can know when each person comes in because they'll have their own code. Would that work that way? That kind of thing? Just curious.
Yep, exactly. You can add up to, I can't remember how many codes, but you could add 99 different fingerprints and register whose fingerprint that is. And then it will log in the application who has logged in, or, who has accessed the office. And it's really cool. You can also add like one-time codes. So let's say it was at an Airbnb.
Delivery driver or something.
Like an Airbnb, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so I give you a code, a one-time code, or I could give you a code that works for 3 days. And then after 3 days, that code expires or whatever. So there's a lot of cool functionality like that. Somebody's coming over, surprise party, they have the code already available that they can get in that will work for that day. And
I'm thinking of delivery
cool
driver. Delivery driver that comes in our business. Yeah.
So it does have a lot of cool functionality. The really cool part is the keypad. So instead of just like a 9-digit keypad or 10-digit keypad, it has 4 spots where it puts the keys, and in each spot it has 3 numbers. And every time you put in the code, it rearranges those numbers. So if you watched me type in the PIN code, you could never guess what PIN. If you tried to guess too many times, it would lock up and you have to use your key. But it made it so you could never guess or learn what code I had, which I thought was very impressive.
That's smart
technology.
That's smart.
So that was really cool.
I love that kind of stuff. So now I'm going to ask, is it pretty pricey?
It was. So the lock itself, I mean, depending on what you want, but all the other locks I saw were pretty close to the same price. So this one cost $249. Yeah. And then to get that extra smart home functionality, that's another $50.
I got you. And you have to have Wi-Fi nearby, right? You have to have Wi-Fi nearby.
With the link. If you just buy the lock itself, you just need Bluetooth on your phone. So you don't, it doesn't operate on Wi-Fi. It's just Bluetooth only. So you could open your phone, unlock it once it connects over Bluetooth.
Okay. Because I'm thinking at work with the warehouse, the back door, it might not reach the Wi-Fi. So you would have to have something with Bluetooth or your phone or something.
You can control it all up, or you can set it all up and everything just with Bluetooth. So the Wi-Fi is not required for that part of it.
Yeah, got you. But I'm just thinking, if you wanted to set up a temporary code for, hey, somebody just out at the door with a delivery or something, you would probably have to, it'd have to be reachable and be able to change and all that kind of stuff via Wi-Fi that way or something, maybe. I'm thinking.
Yeah, the only part if you want Wi-Fi is if you want the smart home. So if you want to unlock it with Google.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Or lock it with Google. That's the only real part that Wi-Fi is needed. Everything else will just be over the main. You'll set up one main phone that will be the main user, and then they kind of have control over who gets added and who doesn't. And then other people can download the app, and you give them like a code, and then they have certain access. It's all tied to one phone, which is really cool.
That's awesome. Heather, you have anything? Because I got another one, Google Assistant buttons. I want to talk about that because he did a great video.
No, that sounds really cool. That sounds really cool.
I want to hear the explanation. What did you learn by doing the Google Assistant buttons? What did you learn on that one? What is this, like routines without verbally saying it, right? Isn't that kind of what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. So let's jump into it. So the Google announced last year something called action blocks. So action blocks are something you can add to your Android device. So right now this is Android only, that lets you interact with Google Assistant in many different ways just by pushing a button. Now this is actually an accessibility feature that people can use. So let's say you can't, sometimes it's harder to navigate through your phone to text somebody, to open an app, type in something, find the person, all that stuff. Some people aren't able to do all that with, just every day. So with these action blocks, you can push a button and it will automatically do all of those functions with just one button press.
So
cool. I'll try and just show you right here. So here is my screen. Let's see if it can focus. Maybe not. Of action blocks. And what this does is each of these are the blocks. So you can set these up to do all kinds of things. Here I have one that will call my mom. Here I have one over here on this side that will search for cat videos on YouTube. Down here, I have a few that will adjust lights in my home. So whenever you tap one of those, it will automatically interact with the Google Assistant with what you have set up to do when you push that button.
So you don't have to verbally say anything. You just tap the button.
Yeah, and that's one of the other things is you don't need to talk. Sometimes at night, I don't.
Richard, hold on. I got to say, Richard, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. You're Heather and Michael. Look at there. You're awesome, dude. Sorry, I had to break away for that one.
Thanks, Richard. Much appreciated. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's right. So,
like at night, sometimes there'll be a light on and I don't want to activate Google that I'm right next to turn off that light. I'm already like browsing on my phone or whatever. So now I can just push a button and it will automatically turn off that light. So it makes it really convenient in more ways than just simply pushing a button to open an app. You can do many different things. So yeah, they're essentially, Ronald, so those blocks are like widgets. Exactly. It's like a widget, and you can make a widget for anything you can do with the Google Assistant.
So is this something that sits on your telephone? Like you have, these are just blocks on your phone somewhere, or do you hit the app first? Do you have to hit the app and then go to that?
Yeah, they're just blocks on the phone. So how it's all done is through this Action Block app. So that's the app right there. That's where that's where I created all of these. And then let me see if I can do this without calling.
So
I can hold down and I can make them. I can adjust them. I can make them bigger. I can make them smaller. So there you can see.
Okay, I see. Yeah,
you can make that. I can make it the full screen if I wanted to.
So you drop that individual block onto your desktop of your phone, maybe the back screen or whatever.
So here's just like my home row of apps.
Oh.
So
this is an app. I just want to make sure I understand. This is an app that I need to put on my phone.
Yep. So you need to download Action Blocks. And again, this is Android
Action Blocks.
So if you have an iPhone,
right,
it won't work. So here's the app itself, and it's got a bunch of different apps available, or different widgets or blocks I've made. I'm trying to think. I want to show off. Should I show off one? You want to see what one looks like?
Yeah, do it, dude.
Well, yeah.
I'm trying to think if it's going to turn off anything that's plugged in. I think we're good.
Turn off
I don't want my stream to die.
And that's the show with Brett. Thanks for being here, everyone.
Okay, so I have two right here. I have one called I'll Be Back, and that is actually a Google routine where it's automatically going to turn off my office. So when I leave, I say that, and it turns it off. And then I have one called Let's Get Started, and that will turn everything back on. So, all right, live demo. Here we go. Let's see.
Look out.
Okay, so I just tapped it. It opened Google Assistant, and there you can see all my lights, and my TV should turn off. I do still have one light just so there's some background light. So that's the action block. I didn't do anything else. I just pushed a button.
Fantastic.
And now we're going to push this other button that says, Let's Get Started. It activates Google Assistant, and there it goes through the process of turning every light back on.
And you never had to say anything. That is so stinking cool.
Yeah, didn't have to say anything.
Cool.
There's one light. I don't know what happened to that one. But everything else turned on.
So you have to be careful. You have to be careful with what you are watching on the TV when you do that, especially like in a live show, because you don't want to be showing something that maybe you didn't want to show. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
True. That's true. My Chromecast has been good for me in the background.
Yeah, there you go. I'm playing. That is freaking awesome. I love this. I was going to do a daily tip on this because I do daily tips for our community. I was going to actually do a daily tip on this, but I wanted you to come on and show it and explain. I knew you were coming on. You said, when you said, yeah, I can do next Wednesday, I was like, yes. So you get to show this. So even better.
I did put a link on the Twitch side. I'm not able to open up the YouTube for some reason. So there is a link to finding that in the Play Store, but yeah.
Fantastic. So basically you can do the same routines that I do for the assistant. You can make an action block. So instead of saying it, I can just click that and boom, do the same thing.
Exactly.
Correct?
So all I did was for this routine that I showed you, I went into the Google Home application.
Thank you, Eileen. You're so sweet. Appreciate you.
I went into the Google Home app, created the routine for what I wanted it to do. So I went and I said, I want these lights to turn on. I want this to turn on and the TV to be on. And then I created another one to say, this is what I want to have happen when it turns off. And then it's really cool because I could take a picture. So I took a picture of those. So it's easy for me to remember what it does. When I push this button, everything's on. When I push this one, everything turns off. And then when you set up, so you create the routine in the Google Home app, and then I came into the Action Block app, and then I just typed in that routine. So I said, let's get started. And it will send that command to Google Assistant and start doing that. And there's a bunch of preset things and ideas of what to do. And it has its own pictures if you don't want to add a picture. There's all these preset pictures you can do.
Is finding cat videos like a base entry level command button? Because I might need that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So as soon as I come in here, create an action block, it says play videos, and the first thing that's there, it says play cat videos on YouTube.
Yeah, I figured.
Let me make sure though. I want to make sure. So you have to create a routine and pull routine into the action block to make that work. Yes or no?
That's just, do you have to?
Yeah. Can you
want to use a routine?
Can you set it all from the action block? Like something?
No, you would need to create the routine if you want to use routine, you have to create that in Google Home.
Okay. So if it was just one command, let's say I wanted to turn this one light off. Could I do that with just an action block, or do I need to have it?
That's all done just within the action block. So here's some examples. So you can just make a phone call. You could start a video call or a duo call. You could send a text message. You could play a video. You could play music, create alarms, create a reminder, open an app, open calendars, set the temperature, or turn the lights on and off. So those are all the basic things that are there. But then there's one here that says create custom action. So with that, anything that you like to ask Google Assistant, so anything you may use your Google Home for, you can just go and type that in, and then you don't have to say that command anymore. You just create a block for it.
That's awesome. So if I wanted to say, let's say we're having company over and they just got here, and I say, hey, I'll throw my photos from such and such up on the main TV screen. Instead of saying that, I could just hit that button and boom, they would just start rolling up. That's cool. That's pretty cool.
Sometimes those commands get kind of long and it's hard to remember exactly what it is. So you could say, and then the cool thing is you don't have to activate your Google and all the confusion of that happening. Yeah. You could keep your Google mute because your family's always going to keep mute or talking to it and messing everything up. So you keep it mute, and then you just use your action block to play my videos or my pictures from New Zealand on Chromecast Ultra. That's a long command, one button, it would do it.
So cool. So this is and this is just for Google, obviously. It's not the Alexa or anything like that.
That's correct. Only Google Assistant is supported.
Right. That's the only thing. And then this is okay, so I'm going to ask you real quick, do you have any other devices like Alexa and some of the other stuff? Do you ever do Dibble?
I do have a few other devices. I do have an Echo Show up here. That's over in the corner. I have a Fire TV. I have a little of both, just so I know what's better and best.
Comparison wise.
What works better on this side of this side.
That's great.
One thing, this app, since it's only Android, a lot of people are like, oh, it's not on iPhone. If you do have an iPhone, I would recommend looking up the Siri Shortcuts app. Siri Shortcuts allow you to work with Google Assistant, where you can then do certain things like this. So it opens up Google Assistant and sends the command. Similar to this, not the exact same thing, but if you're interested, that's one way in which
Mike brings up a great point too. Sometimes you can't remember the right phrases.
I know I was saying that, but I was muted. I was saying that, but I was muted. Yeah. Oh. I have had this problem. I set up a command for playing a specific playlist, and I can never remember the exact phrase of that playlist. And so it every time says, "I'm sorry, I'll have to help you with that later," or something. But I set you up. A button would be nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Comes very handy.
Very convenient. I love that. I'm so glad that you were able to explain that one, because that's one that I absolutely love. I think that's so cool. You have all those. We have all the above. All the above. There you go. All the above. What?
I love how it just opened it up to anything. It wasn't specific on what you could do, but it's anything that you like to use. That's what you can do with it. So it's really customized to whatever you want. I'm really sorry about my colors. I don't know why I think it's kind of fun.
Disco. It keeps switching out. Yeah, I'm loving it.
It draws our attention. Make sure that we're paying attention to.
Yeah.
At the end of the show, if you give me a number of how many times that did blink, I'll give you a prize. No, I'm just kidding. I'll give a prize to the guest. There you go. How many times did Brett's blink a different color? There you go. All right. No, we got to have some fun, right? All right. What else? Anything else you want to talk about today? You were here to give us whatever you wanted to talk about. Talk about anything further that you wanted to go into, or something fun. Talk about the. You said you got something out there. Oh, look at there. Thank you so much, Roz. Super stickers. I love it for the Australian $4. I have no idea. I think I just made more money.
I was just going to say that was actually probably more money on your end.
Yeah, but I think your latest video is 5 awesome Father's Day gifts. Is that right?
5 awesome Father's Day.
Oh, really?
Gifts. That's correct.
Yes. Talk about those real quick. We'll end it with that, because we want to get in to make sure that we have some time with our community to talk about that. But talk about your latest video. Talk about it.
That is a great idea. So the 5 different things, it all depends on what you have in your home. The first one I talked about was something called the Lutron Aurora Smart Switch. So this is a Philips Hue device. So if you have a Philips Hue smart light bulbs in your home with a Philips Hue bridge, this little device, you put it onto your light switch. So instead of putting a piece of tape over your light switch so that people can still interact with the device, this covers the light switch, removing the ability to touch the light switch, and then it allows you to turn on and off the light and change the brightness. So very convenient if you have Philips Hue device. It's amazing to have.
Okay. That's a good one. For me, I'm my wife right now. I'm adding it to my list. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so it was like 25% off or something.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, really cool. The next one was called Flick. So Flick is a hub that you can buy that comes with buttons. So these little buttons work with Bluetooth Low Energy. So you could have the hub in your home and the buttons wherever. So we have one by the nightstand that you push it and it will easily turn on and off your light bulb. So we have it set up to a smart light switch and it can turn it on and off. So it works with Wemo devices, Philips Hue, LifeX bulbs. You can even set it where if you're playing something on like your Chromecast or your TV, you can push a button, it will pause or play the TV, which is really nice. So I don't know if it can work with routines. I can't remember if it can do that or not. But there's really cool.
Does it work with TP-Link?
It works with IFTTT.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we can do something.
If TP-Link works with IFTTT.
TP-Link is just like Wemo. It's just another one like Wemo. So that's all.
It might work there.
I
actually have a bunch of TP-Link products here I need to set up, so maybe I'll try those.
Yes, you do. And I need to watch the videos on it. So anyway, go ahead. Give me one more. One more, because I'm going to leave.
Let's see. One more. My favorite one out of all those, I guess, we kind of talked about my smart sprinkler system, but that was probably one of my favorite ones. The smart sprinkler system allows you to control your sprinklers at any time. So if you have a bunch of sprinklers that need to be fixed, this is nice because you can turn on the sprinklers, see how they're doing, turn them off without having to run back and forth to your controller, and then you can adjust the sprinkler and keep turning it on and off. So like super convenient, and it's really smart. So if it rains, it will automatically not turn on the sprinklers if it just rained, so that you save water.
Nice.
You don't need to
and
ring.
dogs
so
walking
through
your yard, hit them with a sprinkler real quick. If the dog's walking through your yard, you can just turn it on.
Exactly. Or the kids aren't listening to me. Okay, let's turn this on.
Exactly. It's awesome. Yes.
So that's been one of my favorite new products that I have in the home that it's going to be really fun to have around this summer.
Awesome.
So
okay.
I'm
going to tell you guys go out and watch the rest of his video on that, because then you'll find out the other two that he put on there, because that gets them to watch your video there. So, no, seriously, I love when you come on. I love the stuff that you talk about. You have some really, really cool stuff that you bring on and you do, and it's just awesome. I love it. I really do. Because again, I'm going to say it again, but you explain very well, very clear, precise. So you get a lot out of it whenever I go and watch your videos, and I appreciate that. I really do.
Do my best to do that. So glad it has worked. So thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. I hope you come on again soon. Keep making these awesome videos so that way I can have you on. But thank you so much for the Google one, the Google Assistant. What is it? What is action buttons or
action blocks?
Action blocks. Action blocks. Yeah. I have to remember the term for it. But anyway,
a block that makes an action happen. Something like that.
Absolutely. And hey, look, everybody that's out there, look, I got all kinds of Sheila, got Mike, we got all kinds of Rosses out there, and Mert and everybody. Thank you, Jolin. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out and joining. And those are a lot of community members. They're going to come in afterward and see you, and we're going to come in and chat with you for just a little bit. We'll get you that link. I really do appreciate it. And I appreciate you taking time out of your day. I know with everybody, with the situation in the world, a lot of people have time to do this kind of stuff and look at some of these things and some of these videos and stuff. I tell you, it's really awesome to learn some of the stuff and some of the things that can help you. And I think in the end, I think that's what you're doing. Do you agree? I mean, you're helping people, really.
I agree. And there's a ton of stuff that since we've gone into quarantine that I've had to set up for my kids, and I've had to learn all this other stuff that we never ever thought we'd do or how to deal with. So it kind of forced me to learn a bunch of other things as well. So
great point.
Making the best of it, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you. We'll see you in the after show with our community members. Community members, you can go into the backstage pass. You know how to get there on the community. Anybody that wants to become a community member, we would love to have you. It would be great if you became a community member. I will put the link right here. It's tinkeringwithtech.net. Just go to tinkeringwithtech.net. That'll show you the public page, shows you and gives you an idea of what we do in that community. And then if you do decide, just hit the join button that's on there and join the community and learn some of the stuff and get to meet people like Brett in the backstage pass. And thanks again. And we'll see you over there in just a second. I'll give you the link here in just a second. Okay. Thank you, folks, for watching. Appreciate you guys. We're out.